Okay, so when making my notes for this video, I had a hell of a time narrowing this list down. And then it got even harder trying to put these in any sort of order. My top goosebump inducing moments from this series, every one of these, as I was reading it and trying to compile it for this list, every single one of them, I thought, oh yeah, this is the best one. And then I would read the next one and like, oh no, wait, no, this is the best one. They're all amazing. So I've given up on trying to put these in order. So it's just 10 goosebump inducing things. It's going to feel like it's in order because there's no other way to do it other than to say them in an order. But they're all my favorite. I don't know how to do this. It's like picking my favorite child. I don't have a favorite among these scenes. They are all my favorite when I am talking about them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the scene where Moiraine takes out Lanfear. I love how the scene starts. It's just them inspecting wagons, and then it's just at the end of the line, the side of Kadir's wagon exploded. And there's Lanfear holding Kadir's deflated skin because she's flayed the man alive, and it's amazing. It's grotesque, it's horrifying, but it's amazing. And then you see the internal conflict in Rand. Then you're inside Moraine's mind as she realizes that this is what she has been waiting for. She's known this was going to happen. She has prepared for this moment. And then the way it ends, where it says that she suppresses a small bubble of hope because she can't allow herself to feel that. She embraces the source and then just leaps at Lanfear. And then they go through the twisted doorway and everything just goes white and she's gone. It is epic. It is amazing. I personally kind of wish that that was the end of that book. I know for me, this is the emotional gut punch. The next scene I want to talk about is the scene where Rand goes to Rhuidean and he sees the history of the Aiel through his ancestors. It is beautiful. That's another one of those scenes that I anticipate as it's coming. Like when I know it's coming, I tend to rush through the parts before because I cannot wait to get to that section. It is beautiful. It is one of the most perfect pieces of writing I think I've ever come across in any genre of books. Everything about it is amazing, and the way the story unfolds, and you can see like the logical steps that were taken that just undid Aiel culture and made it into something completely new. And you not only see the logical nature of it, you see the tragedy in that. And it's beautiful. It is stunning. It's just perfect. It is perfect. Now we move on to the next item on my list, which is Dumai's wells. Quite specifically, when the Asha'man show up. And there's that moment where Rand looks to Taim and says to him, I asked you to make me weapons. Show me what they can do. And Taim, says those immortal lines, Asha'man, kill. And the next line is the first line of Shadow exploded. It just gets you in the gut. It is horrifying and amazing and awe-inspiring and oh my God. It stays at that level of amazing. And then I tacked this on because it's another one of those scenes that just gives you chills at the end where Taim turns to the Aes Sedai that they've captured and says, I'm just going to get this quote right. He says, kneel and swear to the Lord Dragon, or you will be knelt. Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, I know a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing Dumai's wells. I have to admit, I'm nervous about seeing it. I don't handle gore well when it's visual. I am nervous, but it is incredible. Another scene that gives me chills is the scene where Nynaeve heals Logain. I love the way it's written, where you're just in her mind and she's just experimenting and going through things. It's fascinating being in her mind because, you know, she's dealing with the irritation that she's feeling from the situation that they're in Saladar, but she's also just being incredibly clinical in the way she's looking and looking through or inside of Logain. She's being very matter of fact. And then it says that it was just the widening of Logain's eyes that let her know what she had done. And she catches her breath. She tells Elaine to go get Sheriam and just says, tell her I've healed Logain. So from something awesome that a character did to something terrifying, but also, oh, so many chills, this scene. It's the scene where Rand balefires an entire village, I guess, or castle. He knows that there's a Forsaken there, and he sends someone there in order to confirm, basically, to come back, and then he brought Nynaeve with him just to test for compulsion, and the compulsion is there. And then he just balefires an entire village, killing and wiping them out from the pattern. Hundreds of people, most of whom were probably innocent or even victims of the Forsaken that he was killing. It is the moment of, oh my God, what has Rand become? Rand has gone from the person who wasn't able to kill Lanfear to indiscriminately slaughtering hundreds of people. And it's horrifying. And there's, I believe it's Nynaeve who gasps at the end, like, what have you done? That is what I was feeling at that moment of, oh my God, Rand, what did you just do? It's the next scene that I would say gives me goosebumps and chills and also can cause me to cry completely out of context is a scene from the final book where Rand is battling with Shaitan, and he says to Shaitan, it's never been about me. And then he goes through the list of our characters, describing them in a way that it's so perfect that when the show released their cast photos and they had their quotes underneath them, just reading those quotes alone had me sobbing by myself. I mean, it wasn't just the excitement of, oh, that's what the cast looks like. It was, oh, yes, that's who these people are, these characters I love, and they are described so beautifully. Of course, there's my favorite. It was about a woman who refused to believe that she could not help, could not heal those who had been harmed. That's my girl. That's Nynaeve. That's who she is. And then, of course, Matt. It was about a hero who insisted with... See, it's literally causing me to choke up right now as I'm trying to just quote it. A hero who insisted with every breath that he was anything but a hero. Every single one of them. I don't want to read all of them because I will just sit here and cry as I do it. It is perfect. Those descriptions of characters are amazing. So you go from that to the scene that I know a lot of people love. And it's a scene where everyone sort of comes back around on Nynaeve. It's the scene from Knife of Dreams where Nynaeve goes and gathers, or at least starts to gather, an army for Lan. I want to get this quote right because it's amazing, so I'm going to read it. My name is Nynaeve Tialmera Mandragoran. The message I want sent is this. My husband rides from the world's end towards Tarwin's Gap, towards Tarmangaiden. Will he ride alone? Oh, that will he ride alone? It's amazing. I love that this scene is told from the perspective of another character, and it's a character that we don't know. We're given a short description of this character, but we get to know them, we know their personality, and then seeing Nynaeve through their eyes as she comes in, and she is epic, and she's a goddess just landing in amongst them to gather an army for her husband. Another goosebump moment. The next scene that I want to talk about that's a goosebump moment, it's actually not so much the scene. It's one sentence or one group of sentences that I just love. They are perfect and it's amazing. It's a scene where Matt is gone through the Twisted Gates and he's met with the, I think it's the foxes? Are these the foxes or the snakes? He's met with one of them. And he's asking them questions about his life, and they are being pulled by his ta'veren-ness, and of course Rand is in there too, so they've probably got double ta'verens in there. And they start telling him his destiny, and then it says, and again, I'm going to quote it because I want to get this right. It is amazing. Together they howled like steam escaping under pressure. Go to Rhuidean, son of battles. Go to Rhuidean, trickster. Go, gambler, go. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. That group of sentences that just, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I literally, because I'm animated, you can't see this. I literally have goosebumps right now, just from reading that sentence. It's incredible. Okay, so another goosebump moment. Gosh, I can't put these in any order. Literally, as I get these up on my notes to talk about, I'm like, oh yeah, that scene. It's impossible. These scenes are all amazing. But, okay. Another goosebump moment is when Nynaeve beats Moghedien in the Panarch's palace. I love it because it's Nynaeve leveling up, basically. But it's not even so much her leveling up. It's her realizing her level. I don't really know how else to describe it, but I guess that's what it is. It's the moment when she realizes that Moghedien isn't waiting to use all of her strength on Nynaeve, but that she is using all of her strength. And Nynaeve realizes, oh my god, I'm as strong as one of the Forsaken. Oh, it's epic. This is a scene, this is one of my favorite scenes. Like, it's not even just a goosebump moment. This is one of my favorite scenes in these books. Like, it's, when I think of Wheel of Time, there are certain things that come to mind. This is definitely one of them. And it's one that I am both anticipating with great excitement and also incredibly nervous about for the series, because I have no idea how they're going to film this. Like, basically, two women just staring at each other. How do you show how much strength that Nynaeve is putting in it, and how do you show how much strength Moghedien has? I don't know. You know, I have very, very high hopes that it's going to be amazing. But I am nervous because it is one of my favorite scenes. It's just so, so great. And this is another one of those instances where Nynaeve does her abraca face punch thing. It's not an actual punch. She just throws something, but she throws something at Moghedien's face, and it knocks her off her balance. It throws her off a rhythm. It's really amazing how she wins, and I love this scene. It's incredible. The final goosebump scene that I want to talk about, I have in my notes as not Thor's hammer. It's the scene where Perrin makes a power-wrought hammer. And he starts off and he's just working metal, I think to basically relieve his own stress. That's what he's doing there. But then Neil comes along and, offers to heat up the metal, and Neil just starts instinctively doing something. And then Perrin recognizes that something is happening, and Neil is like, it just feels right. And then he calls for the wise ones because they need a circle to do it. And this is a scene that shows what can be accomplished in a series. Because if you threw this in the first book, it wouldn't have this resonance. But because of how long the story has been going and what we know of this world, that, first of all, there aren't any new power-wrought weapons being made, at least not by the light side. And secondly, that men and women haven't been working together to do any sort of wondrous deeds with the power for thousands of years. Also, what we know of Perrin and this army, like, it all comes together to make this scene have a depth and a gravitas that you couldn't do in a single book. At least, I mean, maybe you could, maybe there's things like that exist, but I think it really is the depth of understanding of what this world has been through that makes this scene what it is. you see in this scene what the healing work of cleansing the source and everything has done. It has brought the two sides of the true source together, and this is the beginning of what will start to be accomplished now that the taint has been cleansed, and now that men and women can work together and trust each other. It's so good. It is such a good scene. Anyway, those are my goosebump scenes, and there are others, I'm sure, that I could have included, but I'm curious. What are yours? Same as mine? Different? Whatever? Do my choices suck? I'd love to read your comments. And as always, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you again. Bye!